Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. So we were in the Maitreyi Brahmanam, which is repeating again in the fourth chapter as the fifth Brahmanam, and we are in the last portion of that where Bhashyakara is again, he made a introduction that he wants to again do a vichara. Okay, and what is the vichara here? You can see here that there are some statements like Yavat Jivam Agnihotram Juhuyat, Yavat Jivam Darsha Purnamasabhyam Yajeta, and even the Ishavasya Upanishad, correct? That you have to desire to live for 100 years here only doing karma. All these statements being there, it looks as though only the Veda wants us to do karma till the time we live here. Okay. But there are also other statements that you give up all these things and take up sannyasa, correct? And again, there are statements like you go from brahmacharya to grihastha to vanaprastha ashrama and then sannyasa, or you even have an option of directly taking sannyasa from brahmacharya or grihastha ashrama. Okay. And two paths have been talked about. Okay, always. Dvaveva panthano, or even in the Gita, correct? Lokesmin dvividha nishtha pura prokta maya nagha jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yogina. So the jnana yoga is nothing but sannyasa ashrama only is talked about there also by Bhagavan. So the sannyasa as a lifestyle has always been there in our Vaidika culture, in the Vaidika tradition. And even the Amritatvam cannot be gained by karma. Vittena naiva ashanal visa even here. So this being the case, there is still some confusion. That's what Bhashyakara is saying. That what do we do now? Because there are both kinds of statements are there. Even those who are supposed to be well learned and all, they are also not very clear. They are not able to say this is what it is. Different opinions are there. Okay. And if even very well learned people are having differences of opinion, how will ordinary people have discriminatory knowledge with reference to this subject? Therefore, to delineate or to ascertain how we have to understand all these things, I will now do a vichara. So yata buddhi samartyam vicharayishyamaha, like this. Up to this we saw last time, correct? So I will do a vichara. Now he is now presenting the Purvapaksha in the vichara. Okay. So what is the Purvapaksha here? Yavat jiva shrutyadi vakyanam anyartha sambhavat kriya avasana eva vedarthaha. So this yavat jivam agnihotram juhuyat darsha purnamasabhyam juhuyat and all this is there, correct? So that means that till the time you live, you have to do this karma or these karma. Means, and for them, for these statements, you cannot have a different interpretation. That's what the Purvapakshi is saying. Anyartha asambhavati says. There is no other way you can interpret this. Therefore, they all, kriya avasana means what? They only, they are actually going towards kriya as the thing which you have to do always. So they end up in karma only. That is the Vedartha. Finally, the Veda is pointing to the karma or kriya as the avasana. And he is further explaining that tam yajna patrair dahanti iti atyanta karma shravana. So there is also this, again, where this quotation is coming from, they don't know. Yajna patrair dahanti means what? Even the one after some person dies, he is cremated with his own yajna patra and all that. This kind of a tradition was there Even like 100 years back, there were a lot of Agnihotris in our own village. Today, there is not even one person. Okay. So you are supposed to be cremated with the Agni which you are maintaining in your house. Okay. That's what they take. In fact, that's why they take this, the Agni Chatti, correct? The, what we call Tea Chatti in Tamil. That there is a pot in which they will carry the Agni to the whatever funeral. So this is there. That means what is the Atyanta Karma Shravanat he is saying. So if you have to be burnt with your own Agni after death, that means till death you have to keep doing karma only. Correct? And there is a Jara Marya Shravanacha. So previously we saw in the previous here. See, Yavad here. Etat Vai Jara Maryam Satram Yad Agnihotram. So the Shatapatha Brahmana also is talking about Agnihotra as something which you have to do till your old age and death. So this Shruti is there. And further what? Lingacha, even in the Ishavasya Upanishad, this Bhasmantham Shariram is there. Okay. Vayur Anilam Amritam Athedam Bhasmantam Shariram Kratosmara Kritagum Smara Kratosmara Kritagum Smara, like that. This Bhasmantam Shariram, it is said by the Upanishad, means the Sharira has to be burnt on death. And if you take the Parivrajakas, for them there is no Bhasmantam Shariram, because generally the tradition is that you only you don't, there is only burial for the sannyasi, correct? There is no Agni Karma. So that's what he is pointing out. Nahi Parivrajya Pakshe Bhasman Tata Sharirasya Sya, the Sharira cannot be burnt for a sannyasi, but Upanishad itself is saying Shariram is Bhasmanta. And that is now pointing to again the fact that one cannot be a sannyasi, or at least normal people cannot be sannyasi. That is their argument. Later on, you will say, but there are statements which are talking about sannyas ashrama, correct? For that, they have a different explanation. And further, what they are also quoting the Smriti. Smritischa nishekadish mashanantaha mantraihi yasya uditaha vidihi tasya shastre adhikaraha asmin yeyaha na anyasya kasyachit. Okay. So the even see shastre adhikaraha. So this has to be known that what only the one who has been from the time of the conception, okay, because we have garbhadhana and all as a samskara, correct? One who has undergone all this samskara from the time of consumption until the time of the death, correct? Smashana, until the burial, the whatever we say, the funeral grounds. Until there, one who has undergone with mantra, mantraihi yasya uditaha vidihi. So the rites are all performed with mantra, means all these samskaras have been performed. For such a person only shastre adhikaraha, okay, not for others. Okay, like this is again Manu is saying this. So like this, here also it is talking about smashanantaha. Okay. Therefore, what? Sa mantrakam hi yat karma vedena iha vidhiyate tasya smashanantatam darshayati smritihi. So Manusmriti also is saying, by saying mantrakam, basically it is only talking about Vaidika karma, correct? So that karma with mantra which the Veda has mandated, that has to be done till the time one reaches the one's own funeral. Okay, that has been shown by the Smriti also. Therefore, what? From this we understand that all your talk about sannyasa we cannot accept. And further, what is he saying? Adhikara bhava pradarshanacha atyantameva shruti adhikara bhavaha karminaha gamyate. Okay, from this smriti, another thing is what the next line. He's saying tasya shastre adhikaraha asmin nyeyaha, it is said. Okay, so the adhikara, those who are not saying these mantras are not doing karma, for them there is no adhikara to the shastra itself. Shastra adhikara only they will lose. They will not be qualified for this study of the shastra or the shruti. So Shruti Adhikara Abhavaha Akarminaha, for those who don't do karma, there is no Adhikara or qualification with reference to the Veda. That is also shown by the same Smriti. And further what, one more quotation he is giving. Agni Udvasana Apavadacha. So the extinguishing of the fire in one's home is also, the Apavada is done for that. Means it is prohibited. Prohibition is there. And in fact it is said what? Veera hava yesha devanam yaha agnim udvasayate. So devanam veeraha. Ha means the one who destroys or kills, correct? And Veera here means basically power. Virya, Veera and all that. So the one who extinguishes the fire, okay, is the one who destroys the power of the Devas. Means only with fire we generally give all this, whatever, Ahuti, correct? Unless you give them Ahuti, they will not have their power. So, this is also said in the Taittiriya Samhita. So, from all these things, we understand that one has to do karma till the end. Okay. Okay, now our Siddhanti just makes an appearance. He says, Nanu Vyuttanadi Vidhanat Vaikalpikam Kriya Avasanatvam Vedarthasya. Okay, so we have all this that Yuddha, Yeshanatraya Vyutthanam and all we saw already. The three types of desires one gives up, and Vikshacharyam Charanti. So all this vidhi also is there, correct? The sannyasa vidhi, if you can call it, it is there. Therefore, there is an option. Either you can do karma till the end of your life, or you can take sannyasa. Why can't we say there is an option? Vaikalpikam kriya avasanatvam vedarthasya. So the being established in kriya itself till the end can be optional. That's what the Siddhanti comes in and points out. But then the Purvapakshi is not accepting. He is saying, Na, Anyarthatvat Vyuttanadi Shrutinam. So the Vyuttana Shruti you are talking about, which is basically allowing one to take sannyasa, it has a different meaning, he says. Because these things you cannot give a different meaning. That's how he started, correct? Yavat Jiva Shrutyadi Vakyanam Anyartha Asambhavat. But for this Vyuttanadi Shruti, he is saying, I can give Anyartha, I can give some other meaning. Therefore, it's not like what you say that there is an option. There is no option. He doesn't want to give any option. So what is he saying? Yavat jivam agnihotram juhoti, yavat jivam darsha purnamasabhyam yajeta, ityeva madinam shrutinam, jivana matra nimittatvat, yada na shakyate, anyarthata kalpayitum. Okay, that's what I said already. He's also saying the same thing. These two shrutis are there that you have to do certain things till the time you are alive. Means the only qualification for doing this karma is that you have to be alive. So this argument, the Purva Mimamsakas make this. They say that just if you are alive, you have to do the Nitya karma, because that alone is the qualification. And for this Shrutis, you cannot find any other meaning. So na shakyate anyarthata kalpayitum. So you cannot imagine any other meaning, because these Shrutis are very clear. If you are alive, you have to do it. But then what? If this is the case, then what he is saying? Tada Vyuttanadi Vakyanam Karma Anadhikrita Vishayatva Sambhavat. But in the case of this Vyuttanadi Vakyas, the Vakyas which are mandating sannyasa, that can be for those who are not qualified for karma, because everybody is not qualified for karma. That also he accepts. Okay. So those who are, like we say, that handicapped people, they cannot do karma, but they can take to sannyasa. Okay, that is their argument. In fact, this argument was already made, I think. Even previously we saw somewhere that this argument we have seen before also. So we will see the same kind of argument more actually from these people. So here, this, if you see, Further, what he is saying, Kurvan neveha karmani jiji vishet chatagum samaha mantra varna. Also, he is again quoting the Ishavasya Upanishad. We already saw. One has to desire to do karma. Sorry, one has to desire to live for 100 years and do only karma. So this mantra varna is there. This mantra is there because this is a Samhita Upanishad. The Ishavasya Upanishad is found in the Shukla Yajurveda Samhita itself. And Jaraya va hi eva asmat muchyate mrityuna va iti jara mrityubhyam anyatra karma viyoga chidra asambhava karminam smashanam tattvam na vaikalpikam. Okay, so what he is saying, there is another Shruti is quoting, but we also don't know where they have got it. Jaraya vahi eva asman muchyate mrityuna va. So one is free not to do karma, or from doing karma you are freed only by very old age, where you are not able to get up or even sit properly, or you are dead. Okay, mrityuna va. Only in these two options you are free not to do karma. Otherwise, you cannot be like freed from not doing karma. Correct? Karma viyoga chidra asambhavat. It is not possible for you to give up karma. That's what he is saying. Therefore, karminam smashanam tattvam na vaikalpikam. So those who are supposed to do karma, those who are fit and able, they have to do karma, because the only qualification for such people is if you are alive, you have to do. And that means till the time you reach your own funeral, you have to keep doing karma. And Antya karma also is done with your own Agni. That's what we saw. So it is not an option. Further, what? Kana kubjadayaha api कर्मणि अनधिकृता अनुग्राह्या एव श्रुत्या इति युत्थानादि आश्रम अंतर विधानम न अनुपपन्नम. Okay, finally what this is what he is coming to the handicapped, those who are blind, hunchback, people like that. Kana kubjadayaha api karmani anadhikrita, they are not qualified to do karma, but they also have to be blessed by the Shruti, correct? Anugrahya. So how does the Shruti bless them? Shruti allows them to take sannyasa. That's what he is saying. So, evam anugrahya eva, they have to be blessed. Therefore, Shrutya, the Shruti has to bless them. Therefore, what? Vyuttanadi ashramantara vidhanam. The Vyuttanadi ashramantara is only for such people, he is saying. And it is not untenable to give a meaning like this. So, both I have accommodated. See, that's his argument. Okay, once he gives this, again the Siddhanti comes and makes a point. What is that? Parivrajya krama vidhanasya anavakashatvam iti chet. See, what you are saying, this is okay, even assuming there is another problem for you, because the Shruti is saying you take from brahmacharya to grihastha ashrama to vanaprastha to sannyasa, like that. There is a krama is there. That means if you are somebody has been a grihasthi, the grihasthashrami means he is already qualified. He is not somebody who is handicapped. The fit and able person only is there in the grihastha ashrama doing karma. The same person takes up vanaprastha ashrama, the same person becomes sannyasi, or even there is an option to take sannyasa directly from grihastha ashrama or brahmacharya ashrama also. So how are you going to explain this? Okay. Then he has an explanation for this also, very interesting. Okay. So parivrajya krama vidhanasya anavakashatvam iti chet na, he says, why? Vishwajit sarva medhayoho yavat jiva vidya apavadatvat. He's saying there are a couple of yajnas, Vishwajit yajna, Sarvamedha yajna and all that. Vishwajit in fact comes in the Kathopanishad. If you have studied the Kathopanishad, Ushan Havai Vajashhravasaha Sarva Veda Samdada, like that, it starts, no, Ushan Havai Vajashravas was the person, he gave all his wealth away because he was doing Vishwajit yajna. So in Vishwajit yajna and Sarvamedha yajna, you are supposed to give away everything. And in this context only, Nachiketas goes to his father and says, who are you going to give me to? Because he thinks that he also belongs to his father. Then he keeps asking 2-3 times. Father becomes angry and says, I'll give you to Yama. and that's how he goes to Yamaloka and all that. That's an interesting story. So anyway, here, those who have done Vishwajit, Sarvamedha, for them what Yavat Jiva Vidya Apavadatva, for them the Yavat Jiva Vidhi has been, it's not possible anymore, correct? Without wealth, you cannot do karma. So there is an apavada, there is a negation of that Vidhi, and therefore they can take this krama, which was talked about, is only for such people. So, Yavat Jiva Agnihotradi Videhe Vishwajit Sarvamedayoho Eva Apavadaha Tatra cha Krama Pratipatti Sambhavaha. So there the Krama Pratipatti is possible. Those who have done this Vishwajit and Sarvameda Yajna. So Brahmacharyam Samapya Grihi Bhave Grihadvani Bhutva Pravrajet. So like this Krama is possible for them. Being a Vanaprasthi also, you can do that Yajna and give up everything and then take the sannyasa. That is his idea. And further what? Virodha Anupapatte. This is not opposed to anything or it's not contradictory to anything. Why? Nahi evam vishayatve parivraj. Then what? There is no virodha, is saying. Nahi virodha. In the case of taking up of the whatever the mandate to take up sannyasa, parivrajya krama, and that too in this order, correct? There is no opposition or there is no problem, contradiction. The krama pratipatti is there. You can go in this order. And then what? Anya vishaya parikalpanayam tu yavat jiva vidhana shrutihi swavishayat sankochita syat. But if you take it otherwise, like what the Siddhanti is saying, he is saying then what? The yavat jiva shruti will be severely limited. Sankochita, correct? Its scope will become unnecessarily limited. That is not correct. If there is a vidhi, you have to take it fully in scope, okay? You cannot randomly limit its scope. That's what his statement is. So the yavat jivana jiva vidhana shruti will become limited. So vishayat sankochitasya, whatever it is trying to mandate or reveal, with reference to that only it will become very limited in scope. Therefore, what krama pratipattes vishwajit sarvameda vishayatvatna kaschit badha. So considering this krama pratipatti, the taking up of the sannyasa by going through these different ashramas in an order, that is only for those who do Vishwajit and Sarvamedha. It is with reference to that, not otherwise. Okay, this they have now painted a nice picture, full. Now Bhashyakara comes finally. Now it's almost the Siddhanti alone will talk mainly. Yeah. Till now the Purvapakshi was presenting his case. Now what does the Siddhanti say? He says what? Na Bhashyakara Atma Jnanasya Amritatva Hetutva Abhyupagamat. See, we are discussing all these things in the context of Yajnavalkya saying Yetavad Eva Are. Yetavad Eva is the most important thing, correct? Yetavad Eva Are Amritatva Sadhanam. Like this only it has ended. So this alone is the sadhana for Amritatvam. Like this. This Atma Jnanam alone is the sadhana for Amritatvam. That's what Yajnavalkya has pointed out. So Atma Jnanasya Amritatva Hetutva Abhyupagama. So you also have to agree to that. It is very clear. So assuming that you agree that Atma Jnanam is the Hetu for Amritatva. And that too what? So where did this Atma Jnana Prakarana start? Means he is saying that also. From 147 itself, there is a Vidya Sutram we say. Yat tavat Atma ityeva upasita iti arabhya saye shaneti neti iti ityetad antena granthena yat upasamhritam Atma Jnanam tad amritatva sadhanam iti abhyupagatam bhavata. So is now Bhashyakara is explicitly saying abhyupagatam bhavata. By you, it has been agreed, okay, accepted. What? That starting from the Vidya Sutra in the first chapter, fourth Brahmana, till the previous Kandika, where it is said that Neti Neti Atma, correct? Till that, this whatever section of the book, Grantha, is talking about Atma Jnanam only. So it has concluded by saying that And this Atma Jnanam is the Amritatva Sadhanam. This also you have agreed. And further what? But tad yetavad eva Amritatva Sadhanam. This is what now Bhashyakara is pointing. Because even if you say Amritatva Sadhanam is Atma Jnanam, they can say that karma also you have to still do. Jnana karma samuchaya. Okay. So that is why the Evakara is so important. This alone is the sadhana, correct? Atma Jnanam by itself without any apeksha, without depending on anything else, it alone is the means for immortality. So that is what he is pointing out. So tatra etavad deva amritatva sadhanam anya nirapeksham, correct? Iti etad na mrishyate. Even though you have agreed to that, you are not able to bear, you say, that this alone is the sadhana, is not able to accept. That's why these people bring in all this jnana karma samuchaya, correct? The mixing up of jnana and karma. So now he is asking, Tatra bhavantam prichami, and now I am asking you, hey, gentlemen, what is that? Kimartham atma jnanam marshayati bhavaniti. So why you are so intolerant to this atma jnanam? Why are you not able to accept that atma jnanam is the only sadhana for amritatvam? Then he is now giving some explanation. He says, Shrinu tatra karanam. So now listen to what is the reason. See, he is saying, Yatha swarga kamasya swarga prapti upayam ajanataha agnihotradi swarga prapti sadhanam nyapayati tata iha api amritatva pratipitsoho amritatva prapti upayam ajanataha yadeva bhagavan veda tadeva me bruhi iti evam आकांक्षितम अमृतत्व साधनम एतावद् अरे इत्येवमादौ वेदेन ज्ञाप्यते इति. So, but I don't know how this is even an answer, but what he is giving is, he is saying like even the Swarga Kama, whoever is desirous of going to Swarga, correct? For him to gain this Swarga Prapti, to attain Swarga, the Upaya is given, correct? The means. And he doesn't know what is the means for that. So that, in fact, in the case of Swarga, both the means and ends are only revealed by Veda, correct? That's what we say. So, Agnihotradi Swarga Prapti Sadhanam Nyapayati. The Shruti only teaches both the end and the means, how to attain to that end. Similarly, it says, Tata Iha Api Amritatva Pratipitsoho, the one who is desirous of gaining Amritatvam, the Amritatva Prapti Upayam Ajanataha, and one who does not know how to gain this Amritatvam. And that is said here also, correct? Yadeva Bhagavan Veda, Tadeva Mabruhi, like that Maitreya is saying, is asking Yagyavalkya, Ityevam Akangshitam, and in this manner it has been asked, correct? And what? That Amritatva Sadhanam, Etavad Are, Ityevam Madhav Vedena Jnapyate, the Veda, it has been revealed by the Veda in this manner. This alone is the sadhana. So, once he says this, then what we say, Siddhanti is now saying, Evam Tarhi, if it is so, Yatha Jnapitam Agnihotradi Swarga Sadhanam Abhyupagamyate Tata Ihapi Atmajnanam Yatha Jnapyate Tata Bhutameva Amritatva Sadhanam Atmajnanam Abhyupagantum Yuktam Tulya Pramanyad Ubhayatra. So what we say, see, if that is the case, Evam Tarhi, you accept that both have been revealed by the Shruti. There are two kinds of ends. One is to go to Swarga, another is immortality, Amritatvam. Again, for Swarga, Shruti only reveals the means. For Amritatvam also, Shruti is revealing the means. Means both are equal, correct? Tulya Pramanyat means what, both have been revealed by the same Pramana, or both have the same force as the means of knowledge, because both are Shruti Vakyas. So that's what we are saying. So even as how Agnihotra etc. has been revealed as the Swarga Sadhana, Tata Ihapi. Similarly, here also what Atma Jnana has been revealed as the Amritatva Sadhanam. Okay. Therefore, you have to accept the Atma Jnanam as the sadhana for Amritatvam. That is proper, because both are equally revealed by the Shruti Pramana only. Once we say this, what he is now asking, Yadi evam kim syat. Okay, let it be so. So what? Now we are saying, because in his mind, he doesn't see any conflict between having Atma Jnanam and continuing to be a Karta Bhokta. Understand that. So that's why even his explanation is very simple. He's saying that also is revealed by Shruti, you take it. This also is revealed by Shruti, we'll take it. But for him, there is no conflict between Atma Jnanam and Karma. But for us, in fact, the entire Atma Jnanam is based on Karaka Upamardana, correct? The destruction of the factors of action and also seeing oneself as Akarta Abhokta. So he is coolly asking now, Yadi evam kim syat? Okay, so what means what? Now Bhashyakara is explaining the conflict. Okay, this is where the differences are. So sarva karma hetu upamardakatvad atma jnanasya vidya udbhave karma nivrittihi sya. So this sarva karma hetu upamardakatvad. See the all the causes for karma, for doing any activity, all of those hetu only have been destroyed. Correct? In the case of Atma Jnanam, for Atma Jnanam to be born, this karma hetu has to be destroyed. Therefore, when the jnanam is born, vidyodbhave karma nivrittihi syat, there cannot be any more karma because one does not even see oneself as a karta. So where is the kartru karaka itself is not there? Where is the question of other karakas being there? The karta is the main thing, correct? For any kriya to take place. Therefore, the nivritti is there. Further what? Dharagni sambandhanam tavat agnihotradi karmanam Veda Buddhi Vishaya Sampradana Karaka Sadhyatvam. So those who have connection with Dara and Agni, correct? Wife and fire. Because without wife you cannot do karma. Wife has to come and give you permission. Wife has to help you also as a Grihastha Ashrami. And that's why the wife gets 50% of the punya also. Understand that. Even though the man sits with the fire and takes again lot of effort there, wife also has to help anyway. It's not that both of them are contributing and they get the punya equally. So this we have to understand. So one who is connected to his wife and Agni, etc. Dara Agni Sambadhanam Tavat Agni Hotradi Karmanam. So those who do all this Agni Hotradi Karma, the main thing in that what? In the Agni you have to say, correct? Indraya Swaha, Indraya Idannamama, Prajapati, Prajapataya Idannamama, and all you have to say, correct? So means you give the offering in the fire and say, this is not mine, it is now Indra's, it is Prajapati's. Means they are all coming as the Sampradana. The fourth case in Sanskritam is for the one to whom you are giving something. They come as the Sampradana Karaka. Correct? So Sampradana Karaka is there here. So Veda Buddhi Vishaya Sampradana Karaka Sadhyatvam. So all these karma are only possible if you have the Veda Buddhi that I am giving this offering to this Devata who are coming as the fourth case, correct? Sampradana. So there is a Veda Buddhi, but for Atma Jnanam, all Veda itself is Apavada has been done, correct? Yaiha Nana Iva Pashyati, some Mrityoho, Mrityum Apnoti and all that. In fact, Bhashyakara will quote that. So, unless you have this Veda Buddhi that I am offering something to the Devatas and in return they'll give me something, correct? So that Bhagavan says in the Gita also, correct? Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantuha parasparam bhavayantaha shreyah paramavapsyatha. Like that in the third chapter, we have our own sacred ecology, as I would like to call it. So you give to Devatas, you take care of them, they will take care of you. So that is there. Okay, so the Sampradana Karaka, you have to see them as separate. Therefore, what? Anya Buddhi Parichedyam Hi Anyadi Devatam Sampradana Karaka Bhutam Antarena Nahi Tat Karma Nirvartyate. So you cannot do this karma, okay, without having this anya buddhi, he is saying, without having this idea that there are devas who are other than me, and these devatas only are the sampradana karaka, means they are the ones who are receiving the action, correct, or the result of the action. Therefore, without this idea, this karma itself is not possible. Nahi tat karma nirvartyate. It cannot be done. Okay. Therefore, what? Yata hi sampradana karaka buddhya sampradana karakam karma sadhanatvena upadishyate sa iha vidyaya nivartyate. So, yayahi, not yata. Okay. Yayahi sampradana karaka buddhya sampradana karakam karma sadhanatvena upadishyate. So, by whom the sampradana karaka buddhi is there, correct? And with that only, the sampradana karaka itself is looked upon as a karma sadhana. It is the means, because you have to offer it to somebody, some devata, and that devata only then does anugraha, etc. We say that. But all this has been now, it has been removed, negated by the Shruti. Sa iha vidyaya nivartyate. This Atma Jnanam will come and remove Karaka Buddhi itself, correct? So that is what famously we have this verse in Gita. Brahmarpanam, Brahma Vihi, Brahmagno, Brahmana Hutam, Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. So it is a complete Kama Karaka Upamardana, because there everything is looked upon as Brahman Atman. There is nothing other than this Brahmatma. So all of them are gone. And in fact, Shruti is doing Khandana also. We already saw in, correct, 1:4:10. Anyaha asau anyaha aham asmi iti nasa veda. So the one who thinks that these devas are all other than me, and and what? Also they are other than me, I am other than them. Both ways. If somebody thinks that there is a bheda, that person does not know the reality. This is called Avidya Sutra, in fact. We saw Atma Ityeva Upasita is called Vidya Sutram. This is the Avidya Sutra. And then what? Devas Tampara Duryaha Anyatra Atmanaha Devan Veda. So also what? In this Maitreya Brahmanam itself, we saw that the Devas will keep away such a person, or shoo away, or whatever. A person who thinks that they are not this person's self. Okay? Atmanaha Anyatra Devan Veda. If you know the Devas as other than your own self, such a person will be kept away by the Devaha, by the Devas. Not only Devas, it talks about Brahmanaha, Kshatriyaha, and things like that. Therefore, Devas are not separate. They are not separate Sampradana other than me. That's why even our regular puja and all we start, correct? Soham bhavena pujaye. So even though we are doing puja to Bhagavan, but that puja also you have to do with Soham bhavena. So all this vision has percolated up to the daily puja, correct? Deho devale proktaha jivo deva sanatanaha tejet ajnana nirmalyam oham bhavena pujayet. Like that we say, and then start the puja. Even when you do puja at our home, this sloka is chanted very beautifully. So that soham bhava has to be there. Then only this jnana, the jnana, for jnana to be there, deva is not other than myself. That means the sampradana, that bheda will not be there anymore. Further what? Mrityoho samrityumapnoti iha nana iva pashyati. So the one who sees many, that person goes from mrityu to mrityu. And again here, nana is not real. Jnana iva. The one who sees plurality as though. The plurality is really as though. It is mithya. But you are seeing it. Then what? If you see like that, then you go from death to death. You are only a jiva. Similarly, ekadha eva anudrashtavyam sarvam atmanam pashyati. So one has to see only oneness everywhere. Okay, ekadha eva anudrashtavyam. One has to see. Again, anudrashtavyam being there, you are seeing along with the shastra and your guru. And that such a person who sees oneness everywhere, that person sees only atma everywhere. Correct? Sarvam atmanam pashyati. These shrutis, we saw all these things recently. So ityadi shrutibhyaha. Therefore what? Nacha further he is saying, Desha Kala Nimittadi Apekshatvam Vyavasthita Atma Vastu Vishayatvat Atma Jnanasya. So Atma Jnana is about something which is already a fact, correct? Which is always there, which is about yourself, in fact. You are the only person, only thing which is always available. Vyavasthita Atma Vastu. You are. Means the Atma Vastu cannot go anywhere else also, correct? See, other objects and all, if you have knowledge about them, they can still go out of your sight. But Atma can never go out anywhere. It is always you. And this Atma Jnana is about yourself. That means it cannot be dependent on any space, time, etc. Okay. Desha Kaladi, Nimitta, you need not have for this Atma Jnana. But Kriya is not like that. Any activity, you have to see. That's why we have Jyotisha Shastra, correct? You have to see the place, time, etc. And then only you can do. So Kriya yastu Purusha Tantratvat Syat Desha Kala Nimittadi Apekshatvam Jnanam tu Vastu Tantratvat Na Desha Kala Nimittadi Apekshate. So the Kriya is Purusha Tantra. It is dependent on the free will of the person, correct? You can do, you need not do, you can do differently. All these options are there in Kriya. And also it is dependent on place and time. Desha Kal Nimitta is important. It is dependent on that. But Jnana is Vastu Tantra. It is dependent on the object alone, correct? It is as per the object. It is not in keeping with your own free will or anything. It is in keeping with how the object is. You have to know as it is. You have no option there. Your free will does not play any role. Free will can play a role till the time you operate the means of knowledge. For that, you have to put in some effort. But once the means of knowledge is operating, then there is no free will or anything. You cannot, since you like apple a lot, you cannot know orange as apple, correct? Orange has to be known as orange only. Apple has to be known as apple. There is no option there. So it is Vastu Tantra. And it is not dependent on Desha and Kala, etc. The Jnanam is universal. Okay, Desha Kala Nimittadi Na Apakshate. And he is giving example also. Yatha Agni, Ushnaha, Akashaha, Murtvaha iti. So facts like Agni being hot or Akasha being formless, it does not depend on anything, correct? It is their Swarupa and it is as it is. Similarly, what Tatha Atma Vijnanam api. So Atma Jnana also is similar. So there is a difference between Atma Jnanam and Kriya. He is pointing out that. So once we say all these things, what Purvapakshi is not happy. He comes back now. He says, Nanu evam sati pramana bhutasya karma videhe nirodha syat. Nacha tulya pramanayoho itara nirodha yuktaha. So what he is saying now, if this is the case, evam sati, whatever this karma vidhi, which is also revealed by the same pramana, correct? Pramana bhutasya, which is in the form of a pramana, means of knowledge. The karma vidhi itself is a means of knowledge for us because it is being revealed by the Veda. But you are now stopping it. You are now negating it in a way, correct? Nirodha, you are doing nirodha. But both the karma vidhi and the sannyasa vidhi, they cannot negate each other because they are all tulya pramana. They are revealed by the same shruti. So you have to give proper explanation to both, he is saying. Nachat tulya pramanayoho itara nirodha. So one cannot negate the other, he is saying, or stop the scope of the other. So itara nirodha na yuktaha means what we say, no, we are not saying that it is completely stopping or anything. Both have their scope. How? It is not in the way you are saying that sannyasa is for handicapped people and all that. It is based on vidya and avidya, correct? One is vidya vishaya, another is avidyavat vishaya. That's what one has to understand. So Bhashyakara says, nah, what you are saying, it's not like that. Why? Swabhavika bheda buddhi matra nirodhakatva. So the Atma Jnanam does not directly contradict the karma vidhi. Basically, it is only pointing out that everybody is born with a swabhavika bheda buddhi. Correct? This asmad, yushmad ashmad pratyaya gochara yoho and all like that Brahma Sutra also starts, correct? Yushmad pratyaya, asmad pratyaya. Subject, object. This division is natural for everybody. Swabhavika bheda it is. But that difference itself is negated by the Shruti. That's all. That alone it is negating. It is negating only bheda. It's not making directly. It is saying that vidhi has no force or anything like that. Okay. So he is saying nahi vidyantara nirodhakam atmajnanam. Atmajnana is only removing the bheda buddhi, nothing else. So it is not stopping that vidhi in any way. For whoever that vidhi is applicable, they will have to follow that vidhi, correct? Whoever does not have atmajnanam, that is. So he is saying that's what swabhavika veda buddhi matram nirunnadhi means it is only negating this swabhavika veda buddhi alone. It's not doing anything else. But even if we say this word, Purvapakshi is not happy. He comes back, he's saying Tatapi, Hetu apaharat, karma anupapattehe, vidhi nirodham eva syaditi che. So even then what he is saying, this Atmajnanam you are saying is destroying or taking away the hetu of the karma itself, correct? Hetu apaharat, it is taking away the cause. It is removing the cause of karma. Therefore, how can the karma vidhi be there here? Karma vidhi also is gone along with its cause, along with the cause of karma. If you take away the cause for doing karma, then the vidhi, which is mandating karma, also is equally useless. Correct? So it is not possible to have a karma vidhi then. So you are negating karma. It is a problem, he is saying. So vidhi nirodha eva syat, he is saying. Iti chet na. So we say no. Why? Because even they have, see, everybody has a concept of nitya naimitika and kamya karma. Okay. So nitya naimitika karma you have to do, but kamya karma is optional. He also accepts that. Why? Because it is dependent on your desire. Everybody need not have a desire for something. Swarga kamaha jyotishto mene yajeta means if you are not swarga kamaha, you don't have to do that. Okay. Or putra kameshti means if you want a putra, you do. Otherwise, you need not do. Correct. And also there are kama pratisheda shruti also we saw. Kama itself is talked about as something to be given up. Okay. Therefore, if the kama is prohibited by the shruti, kama pratisheda, then kamya pravritti nirodhavat adosha, then you don't do the karma which are all based on that desire, correct? This you also accept. Kamya karma need not be done. Like that only we are also saying. Okay. So he is even giving the example, correct? Yatha swarga kamaha yajete iti swarga sadhane yage pravrittasya kama pratisheda videhe kame vihate. So if the kama is gone, okay, then what? Kamya yaga anusthana pravrittihi nirudhyate. Because of that, he does not do the kamya yaga, whatever is to be done. Because the kama itself is gone, because he reads the kama pratisheda by Shruti itself. Okay, let us say. So, but that does not mean that kamya vidhi is infructuous or anything, correct? For those who has the desire, they can still do that and gain whatever. That is not yet negated or anything. Its validity is not negated. It is not applicable. That's all. That's all we are saying. So this Atma Jnana and Sannyasa Vidhi, they do not negate the validity of the karma vidhi or whether if you do that karma, will you get the result or not. All that Shruti only is revealing. We are accepting it as a pramana. But what is happening is the applicability of that itself only we are talking about. If your status changes, then the applicability also can change, correct? If you are no more desirous of that, you don't have to do. That is the idea here. Nacha yetavata kamya vidhi niruddhaha bhavati. So you also accept this. So by this, the kamya vidhi itself is not invalidated or it is not infructuous. So, but even then what he is saying, kama pratishedha vidina kamya videhe anarthakatva jnanat pravritti anupapattehe niruddhaha eva syaditi che. So he is still maintaining is what if you prohibit the desire itself, then the vidhi based on that kama to do something is becoming useless, correct? It's anartha. Anarthakatva jnana. So you understand that this kama itself is useless. Desiring for this is not very useful. Therefore, you give up that desire, and because of that, you don't do that karma. Means that vidhi also is gone along with that. Kama pratishedha videhe kame vihate. Already it was said, correct? So, like that, this anarthakatva jnanat pravritti anupapattehe niruddhaha evasya. So the vidhi is negated, he is saying. Iti chet. Now finally we say, okay, let it be. So what? Bhavatu eva karma vidhi nirodhaha api. So let it be like this, in the same manner as the karma vidhi becomes inapplicable. We would like to put it as inapplicable rather than negated or made invalid. But if you say no, no, and all that, let it be. It is like karma vidhi only. If you accept it in the case of kamya karma, means you have to accept here also. That's what we are saying. Okay. So bhavatu eva we say, let it be so. So yatha kama pratishede kamya vidhe evam pramanya anubhavatihi iti chet अननुष्ठेयत्वे अनुष्ठातुः अभावात् अनुष्ठान विध्यनर अनर्थक्यात् अप्रामाण्यमेव कर्म विधीनाम इति चेत्. So that's what, once we say this bhavatu eva, he's saying, then what? See, like even the kama pratisheda, if it is done, and then because of that the kamya vidhi becomes useless. Similarly, so then you don't have any pramanya with reference to that, he is saying, but that itself is contestable. Like I told you, something can be inapplicable, but its validity need not go away due to inapplicability. But he is looking at it like that. So he is saying, if the kamya vidhi becomes useless, therefore what? Pramanya anupapattihi, it is no more pramana, he is saying. Why? Because if there is nobody to do the anushtana, who will then, why should you even have a vidhi? If nobody is there to do something, you cannot mandate that, correct? That's what he is saying in a different way. But this is more theoretical, saying that if everybody becomes inapplicable, then that vidhi is useless, correct? An argument like this he is making. So ananushtheyatve anushtatuhu abhava. So if nobody does it, then there is nobody who is applicable to that vidhi, and therefore anushtana vidhyanartyakyat, because then it becomes, the vidhi itself becomes useless. Apramanyam, it becomes apramanya, he says. It is no more a pramana. Karma vidhinam iti chet. If you say like that, what? No, why? Prag atma jnanat pravritti upapatte. So this is where we are saying, it is not like somebody who is handicapped and who is able-bodied and all that. It is based on whether you are an ajnani or a jnani. So before the atma jnanam, all these vidhis are applicable for everybody. We are not saying it is not applicable. So each has its own paradigm. They are valid in their own paradigm. This is the important thing. So in a modern context, it is like having classical physics and quantum physics and all that. So they are valid in their own paradigm. So therefore, what? Prag आत्मज्ञानात् प्रवृत्ति उपपत्तेः स्वाभाविकस्य क्रियाकारक फलभेद विज्ञानस्य प्राग आत्मज्ञानात् कर्म हेतुत्वम् उपपद्यते एव. So for whom this Veda Buddhi is there with reference to the action and the factors of action and also the results of action, that is there naturally for people, and before the Atma Jnanam it is there naturally, and for them there is a cause for doing karma, and for them all these karma vidhi are applicable. So yatha kama vishaye dosha vijnana utpattehe prak kamya karma pravritti hetutvam syadeva swargadi ichhayaha svabhavikyaha tadvate. So similarly, so like even in the kama vishaya, until you see some defect in the desired object, then the whatever vidhi which is there to do some karma and attain the desired object, it is valid, correct? Only if you think that the desired object itself is not something which is no more desirable for you, let us say, after that it is okay. It is that kama vidhi is not applicable to you, or you are no more going to do that, correct? So same way here also, till the atma jnanam, Here is Atma Jnanam, there the dosha darshana, correct? You see some defect in the desired object. Till that time, that vidhi is applicable. And you have the desire also, let us say. So, this pramanya anubhapattihi and all we cannot accept. It is pramanyam is there for that. For those for whom it is applicable, it is valid. It is valid means of knowledge. There is no doubt about that. Like even the Swarga Icha, whoever has the desire to go to Swarga, then for him the whatever Swarga Kamaha, Ejeta and all is valid. Like that. So that's what we are saying. In fact, this is still continuing. And I think we'll see this in the, hopefully we'll finish it in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.